Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Wyatt Turk. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Yo.
Wyatt, I'm glad you made it back from the Pacific Northwest to return those videotapes.
Dude, it was a trick. Blockbuster had my number, dude.
They called collections on you?
Yeah, they were like, you owe us like $450,000 or that disc of Halo Combat Evolved that you checked out.
They give you the specific date.
Are you old enough to remember going to Blockbuster and renting like NES games, Wyatt?
Sega Genesis. We were a Sega household.
I mean, so was I as soon as like Sega existed, but like I had a NES first.
That was my first like game system.
Word. Makes sense.
In point of fact, it was the only game system I had other than a Game Boy until I was a junior in high school because my mom was like, video games are the devil.
Yeah. No.
Obviously.
Yeah. There.
Now cell phones are.
It's crazy because I had a NES and then, the Sega 90s marketing, which was vastly superior, got me into the Sega game, the Sega Genesis. But every time I go to my friend's house with a Super Nintendo, I would always like pretend like, straight up, dog, get a Genesis is way better. But like every game he had looked better than every game I had, and it was the same game. And I was just like, nah.
Yep.
Nah, but look at the box art on my shit. You know what I mean? It's way tighter.
What was the progression? Because it was like 8-bit, 16-bit, 32.
Yeah, that was all
16. Genesis was 32, right?
No, it was 16, but they had a 32X. So they had Sega was all about the add-on market. So they also did have the first 32. They had a Sega CD. So like they also were the first. They had all these failed product launches and like add-ons.
Oh yeah, wasn't one like it was like a big cat? What was it called? I can't remember. But like I'll have to look it up.
I mean, I had a Saturn. So they had the Sega, and then which was 16-bit. Sega Genesis, which was like their new processor. Then Sega 32X, which had like dual. So they were trying to pretend it was a 32-bit, but it wasn't. It was the same shit. My friend had Sega CD, and we was like, "Look how tight this is," and we'd put like CDs in, and it was just like cutscenes of like trashy movie actors and no game. It was so trash.
Oh wow, I didn't even know the 32X existed.
Mm-hmm. Dreamcast, Dreamcast came out later, and that was like secretly one of the best, but it was like so expensive. Jaguar, someone in chat talking.
Oh, the Jaguar, yeah.
Yeah, I remember
was that not Sega?
No,
that was Atari.
No.
Oh, okay. It was Atari.
The problem is it was, it was too, in that era, you needed your publishing and everything. So like these things just were dying on the vine, Then Sega came out again. Sega was always ahead. They came out with the Sega Saturn, that big Christmas release. And again, they're just always too soon. And then by then they got smashed because then N64 and fucking PlayStation were dropping.
Yeah. I remember like the competition between the Dreamcast and the PlayStation.
Dreamcast still has some of the best fighting.
Yeah, I was going to say
fighting games of the era.
Yeah, like my neighbor
and the Dreamcast controller, like the fight stick controller they had, the arcade stick controller, is still premium shit. Even to this day, I've gone to fighting game tournaments where like we're literally playing like Capcom versus on fucking Dreamcast on CTR monitors.
Tight,
like because it's that tight. It's like as close to the arcade experience as possible.
Dude, the fact that you remember lugging those CRT monitors around, like the huge TV, those things were so heavy.
Bro, I remember every time you helped someone move, it was the TV. That was like what you were helping to move.
Yeah, that's the sofa. It was like, yo, all right, everybody grab this TV.
Yeah. Now you can carry the bitches like under your arm.
Yeah, straight up. Like even furniture now is not that super heavy, like depending on what you buy.
I mean, yeah, even between generations of TVs, like I got a new TV this summer for the first time in like 5 years, And the difference in like how slim they are and how light they are now compared to 5 years ago, I was like, wow, this is wild.
She's like paper thin now. Man. Yeah, she was. It was a funny thing about those videos. I remember where I was though when N64 dropped. And if it wasn't for my aunt getting it for us for Christmas, like, dude, I would never had that experience. I remember like playing Mario 64 for the first time and being like, my life has changed forever. Shadows of the Empire.
Oh yeah.
Remember that shit? That shit was on the news, man. It was so fucking groundbreaking.
Yep.
Man.
That whole like I kept playing that first scene over and over again with the AT-AT, the Hoth battle.
Oh yeah. Do you notice like they never moved? They just walked in place?
Yeah, sorta.
They were never getting closer to the base. They just looked like they were because of smoke and mirrors.
Oh.
I remember that. I remember seeing all that shit because N64 was all about like tricks and smoke and mirrors and baked in lighting.
You had to close on them with the speeder.
Yeah, you had to close on them, wrap them, drop them. But I remember playing the level like just forever, just fucking around, flying around, not actually finishing the level, and noticing that one day that they never get closer to their destination. I was like, that's weird.
I don't know.
As a kid,
I guess I bought into the myth.
Yeah,
I still remember the 5 games that I had for the Sega Genesis. I had Vector Man. I don't know if you ever played Vector Man.
Yeah.
Radical Rex.
Yeah.
Sonic 2.
Of course.
Okay.
Madden. It was like Madden 96 or something.
Sega did. Yes, I remember playing Madden.
And then I had Street Fighter 2 for like a week. And then my mom found out that I got Street Fighter 2 and she threw it away.
I remember getting Mortal Kombat with the blood code. I think it was AB, AC, AB start or AB select. God, I almost to activate blood. Fuck, I can't. That was like our other thing that we had. We had blood code on Genesis.
Oh yeah, for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
we had a school trip, like end of the school year school trip to a Dave and Buster's.
Oh, nice.
And even then, it's like the Sega Genesis was so far. This is when I was in middle school, so it was like 5 years outdated at that point. But I got enough like ticket points at Dave and Buster's to get like some prizes, and one of the prizes was like a Street Fighter 2 cartridge for the Sega Genesis. So I spent all my points on that, and I had it for like 2 weeks. Then she threw it away.
Fuck, that sucks. Well, we got Wyatt here today, so why don't we accelerate into our Peabody Award-winning segment with a solid Would You Rather, rolling out to Wyatt's Cave of Wonders.
Would you rather wear for a year booty shorts with fishnets or a midriff cutoff shirt?
You're not allowed to wear anything else though in that.
I like normal wardrobe otherwise, but like, yeah.
So like you wear pants over it?
No. Like if you choose booty short, like you can wear a t-shirt with booty shorts. You can wear whatever you want up top. I mean, Kenny could wear that cutoff shirt with his Jinkos if you wanted to. But this is just like your wardrobe style for the next year.
Damn. What can I get away with?
I feel like the booty shorts are going to be too cold. I don't like that.
They both are going to be cold because you don't get to wear a sweater. Rob would die. He would actually die. He would become a corpse.
Your whole like torso is exposed.
Yeah.
Do we get a butt to like fill out the booty shorts?
No.
Current butt.
It's your butt.
Oh, well then they're not going to be very booty.
I would do the midriff. The main reason being that I don't want to like fully have to remove my pants every time I take a shit. Like my fishnet stockings and booty shorts. I'm assuming they're like standard pantyhose design.
Yeah.
And also I mostly stream. So it's not like it's going to be weird here. And I feel like I can just Instacart most things if I'm feeling embarrassed about my fucking gut.
For a year.
Yeah. I already mostly do that anyway. So the only weird thing is going to be going to tournaments and stuff. I think I can mostly keep myself in this room, but when I go to tournaments, everyone's just going to know Kenny works midriffs now. So I'll have to put some fun new graphics on. I'll have to like make a new line of midriffs for my shop.
Do like some fun temporary tattoos. Huge,
I mean, I already have
belly.
I already have a stomach tattoo and a tramp stamp. So
Okay.
I've got
He's ready. He was ready for
hench
this.
life.
That's a good callback.
I feel like that's the way to go, though.
I mean, you'll die. Like your torso being exposed to the elements, Rob.
It's better than my legs.
I don't know. You're like all torso.
If I'm a little chilly, can I put a blanket over my shoulders? Like in my house?
Yeah.
Then it'd be a little bit easier to stay warm.
I don't know. I think Rob goes with the booty shorts, honestly. The more I think if he really thinks about it, he has to go with the booty shorts.
Yeah.
Because then you wouldn't be able to wear your plaid double shirt anymore. Like, it ruin your whole thing. It's one shirt and it's a midriff.
Yeah, I think you might be onto something there.
You know? Like, I mean, I would love to see Robin just like, even if I don't get to see his midriff here on camera because he's, it's cut off, he'd be wearing like a single tight shirt up top though.
Mm-hmm.
Is the world ready for that? Are you ready for that?
No, I don't know. I don't like it. But I don't really like the booty short idea either.
That's what makes the game fun, Rob. So you have to choose.
I'm down to see him in a midriff, 100%. I've seen his butt down his legs. I'm not worried about that.
I think I have to go with a midriff.
God, I wish we could make this one actually happen. This is one of the ones I was like, man, I really wish I would take one. I would sacrifice, fuck it, just to have Rob wearing it too.
It would be interesting. I'd have to definitely come up with some workarounds.
Yeah, KR Quinn's got a point. You might have to relocate for a year if you chose booty shorts and fishnets.
I don't know, man. Like, everything's pretty, like, what's the word? Inclusive, you know?
Look, we're just making fun of North Carolina. Just accept that. North Carolina's trash.
I don't, you gotta say that a lot, but
yeah, but Doug, every story you tell is of like some terrorist attack, my light going out, I'm freezing to death, or a golf course trying to fucking invade your backyard. Every story.
Dude. We drove to Cherokee.
But that's every place.
And you can't, bro.
That's not my neighborhood. I live in. None of that's happening right. Like
3 hours on the road in North Carolina was enough to be like.
We went through the back hills of North Carolina. You're gonna see that.
There are no back hills in other places, though.
You're gonna see the same thing me and Wyatt saw.
You remember when we drove through that ski town and it went from like fun ski town for like 3 blocks and then it was like meth city.
It did turn to meth city.
That was spooky.
100%. That got really dark really quick. But
talk about all the deer destroying your front yard. Like,
yeah, they were here first, man.
Yeah, domestic terrorists shutting down your power plant. Like,
that's because
it's because North Carolina. Yes,
yeah.
There has been power grid shootings in other states.
Has there though?
Yeah, there has. Google it.
South Carolina. Yeah.
Washington State, California, Silicon Valley.
Not my neighborhood.
Well.
Ain't no terrorist attacks affecting Hollywood.
Yet.
It's a little cynical.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, all the problems that I've had are problems you'll have in any community, and all those that area we drove through is any rural area in any state that I've ever driven through.
Even like a small part of North Carolina. How is this even affecting you? It never makes sense.
Yeah, that there's a lot of coincidences.
You're like 16 churches in your town, and there's only like 8,000 people in it.
There is a lot of churches here.
There is a, you know what I mean? I don't know how to phrase that without insulting people.
I don't know. I don't feel like anything's like particularly out of order as far as the events that have happened.
This whole thing is because we're worried about him picking fishnets, which he didn't. He picked midriff. He's fine. So midriff, you'll be safe in your town. I'm pretty sure.
And besides, I live close enough to Fayetteville. I could just move there and not fit right in.
That place is so diarrhea.
You could always just get you some like real short leg running shorts from like the 70s. Some like Converse All-Stars with like knee-high socks. And just always pretend that you came from a workout and you're just like really old-fashioned.
He wears those knee-high socks already.
I just don't. Yeah, that's the thing is like, you guys are like, you'd have to come up with all these explanations. And I was like, I'll just do what I normally do. I just don't care.
Yeah. Rob actually doesn't care. He's like my dad. like,
people get bent out of shape about the most ridiculous things online and in person.
Yeah,
and I'm
like
just
Rob walking around in his fishnet stockings, man.
Yeah. Like, look at this fool. Like, yeah, hey, what's up?
Crushing in chat's like, roast him more. Not thinking we've reached critical roast Rob mass.
This ain't nothing.
Nah, it ain't.
You should see what the internet says sometimes.
Good one, Wyatt. Let's kick it over to Rob. Rob, do some news, please. Some lizard news.
Do we want lizard news? Yeah. Do we want to talk more about what has GW done this week? No, we'll try to keep it brief as far as that goes. They did preview some of these new boarding patrol boxes, which look pretty interesting because it almost seems like they're kind of doing like a rollback to the old combat patrols. If you guys remember,
is boarding actions just like kill team?
Boarding, they call them boarding patrol boxes. So you're supposed to use them in the boarding action games. But the first one was Space Marines. It was $110, but there was some decent value in there. It was very similar to. Remember the combat patrols, or not combat patrols, the Star Collectings used to be, I think there were 75, then there were 85, then there were all sorts of different prices. And then they're just like, nope, we're going to make these new things called combat patrols. So it's almost like they kind of rewound back to those. And they previewed like 6 of them since the last podcast. So I think they're going to try to do, but they're mostly foot troops, but they're going to try to do them for like each faction, right? But we don't know the pricing on them or if they'll be standardized or anything like that. So it's definitely worth keeping an eye on as far as value goes, But speaking of value, if you like shopping on eBay, now's the time because they got a President's Day sale on a ridiculous amount of things where you get like put in a coupon code to get an extra 20% off. And that includes a lot of Games Workshop product, which gets you close to 40% off. On a lot of different items. We did an article about it. You can Google it, Warhammer 40% off eBay, probably pull up the article and you can get you right in there with the coupon codes and stuff. But there were some pretty solid values over there, and it all ends on the 21st. Also, if you missed out on Hero Quest, the board game, when they did their HasLab thing and brought it back, that also is on there for like under $100, which is kind of wild. It came out at $150. You can get all the expansions, everything, very similar costs. That's also over on eBay. They got them on Amazon too. If you want to use your free shipping and stuff, you can get it off there. It isn't quite as cheap right now, but definitely worth thinking about if you missed out on that one, because under $100 is pretty wild. So that's the big news as far as like values go. So there is still some time. There is still some stuff to get out there. A lot of retailers are saying that they're taking restock orders for current pricing of GW. So, if you've been thinking about a new army and you want to get in before the price increase hits in March, maybe reach out to your local retailer and be like, hey, if I put this order in, can you get it for me at the new pricing plus whatever normal discount you might get? They may hook you up. I know a lot of stores have been seeing them doing that. The problem is it's going to put a strain on the system like we talked about last week, where a lot of stores are doing restocks. Restocks are already behind. GW's doing the thing where they're allocating stuff. For whatever reason, a lot of people think, hey, we're going to force people to go over here and buy it from us on the web store. And then when they don't, we'll give retailers another pass at whatever allocation they want the next week, which has happened the last 3 weeks, believe it or not. So that's kind of something to keep in mind too, is that if you want GW stuff right now, you can get it. You're just probably going to have to wait a little while if you want it at a reasonable price. If you want to, gotta have it now, it's going to cost you. Just straight up. Any way you look at it, if you don't see it on store shelf, it's probably going to cost you, which is kind of unfortunate because now is not the time for things to be costing premiums for just because you can't find it, not even because it's a limited item or anything like that. So just kind of be aware of that stuff. So with that in mind, we spent a lot of time last week talking about the price increases for Games Workshop. We basically just got the spreadsheet. I'm like doing the math on it. I was like, it's 13, it's 14. It ended up being like 18% across the board. What they sent to retailers. Obviously, retailers and customers didn't like that. And within about 5 hours of our post going live, where we broke it all down and said how much it really was, GW walked it back. They sent out an email to retailers late Friday night. And they're just like, hey, we made a mistake. We sent the wrong thing out. It's an error. Here's the actual price increases, which were still more than what they said. They're about 8% across the board, but only about 600 items. So it isn't quite as ridiculous, but just keep in mind, very factual information here. Games Workshop did develop a spreadsheet that referenced the current pricing. So it was current. It wasn't something they were thinking about doing. It was something that took the current pricing right now and added 18% to it and then sent it to retailers either as an error or, because they thought maybe they bite on it.
It's also like some Stockholm syndrome shit, like 18%. That's crazy. Oh, sorry guys, it's actually 8%. And you're like, oh yeah, cool. That's fine. But if they had put out 8%, you would have been just as mad about it. So they found a way to do it to make you feel like you're getting a deal, even though they literally raised the prices. So it could also just be like a nefarious strategy. Or you could take them at face value and they put out the wrong sheet. But if you take them at face value and they put out the wrong sheet, they still were thinking about that other sheet.
Yeah, it's like, why did you have that sheet in the first place?
Yeah.
Why was that even there? Why is that even a thing? Why did you even start at 18%?
Yeah, it's sketchy.
It's a little sketchy. So they also let retailers know already that there are going to be allocations for this week's releases. Yay! So all the GW stuff. For the most part, it's not the whole release cycle. So the Acadian or the Acadian Combat Patrol is allocated this week. I think stores are getting 5 of them, which isn't a big deal because it's the same stuff that kind of came in the Acadian Army box. So there is that, but they are also allocating out all of the Black Library books, which there's actually some really good ones this week. Like some folks in chat were already saying, some of the finale for the Siege of Terra series is coming out. There's some Angels of Darkness Anniversary Edition, some stuff like that. So it kind of stinks because there's a lot of people that really like these Black Library books, but it is what it is. Hopefully they'll let retailers get the amounts they need. The good news is that the Rough Rider boxes and the upgrade, Acadian upgrade sprues, the Castellan, the commander model, Acadian Castellan, I guess they call him, the new Commissar, and that White Consul's exclusive Captain Messenius. None of that is allocated. So stores will pretty much be able to order whatever they want of that with no problems. So, and they let stores order the Kill Team stuff that they allocated last week. So if you're hard up for some Casterkins, they will be available. It may take a week or two to trickle back out into the system because they're going to come out as a restock, which means that they're going to be queue up with all the other stock orders that are going into GW right now. But they won't be the $100+ that they are on eBay, at least. So if you can wait it out a couple of weeks, there will be a supply of Kashrikins hitting the market, and hopefully to bring those secondary prices down. Because I saw where somebody bought a squad for $180, which is 3x what the retail price is, and that was 2 weeks ago. So
yikes,
pretty wild. I don't know if I'd pay 3 times
never.
for any kit out there.
But no.
But I can see where a lot of people are going to want multiple boxes of the Rough Riders, so that's good. They'll be able to get those. And the Cadian upgrade sprue, even though it is one sprue for $35, it does look pretty cool.
It is a good sprue, though.
There's a lot of conversions and things you'll be able to do and really kind of spice up your miniatures across the board. I mean, I could see where people might even buy 2 of them. So that's really neat. So there's that. Just some stuff to kind of keep in mind out there. I did want to talk about some of the other stuff that other retailers have going on. So Cromlech put out a line of tile alternative miniatures, which look pretty dope. Definitely check those out if you're into tile and you want to get something a little different to kind of spice up your army. Victoria Miniatures has amazing Imperial Guard alternative miniatures for just about anything you'll want. She's even got some vehicles and some weapon platforms and things too. And they're doing the Adepticon order. So if you put in an order, you want to pick it up at Adepticon, so you're not like, I wonder what she's bringing or whatever. You can do that now, and she'll have it for you at Adepticon. So check that out over on Victoria Miniatures. And I think that's the big stuff as far as, and we'll talk about some of the rules here in a few minutes, that GW put out. Oh, and they did announce that for at least Sigmar, the Regiments of Renown are coming back. So there'll be some new rules for how to splash in allies isn't the word, mercenaries in your Age of Sigmar armies, which looks pretty fun and definitely is a kind of a throwback to the old fantasy days there. So, and there will be a new line of bundle boxes to go along with that as well. So more information on that, hopefully soon, I think. That's pretty much it that I'm tracking as far as big news. But now's the time to stock up, save on the armies and the miniatures for right now, and definitely check out that eBay sale too, because there's some pretty sweet deals, close to 40% off.
Tight. So we have new rules that you sent over to Wyatt. What were those again? Aegis defense lines?
Yeah. The agents of the Imperium, like you can basically splash these guys in. They don't take up a slot. Like Inquisitors, Assassins.
Okay, let's take a look at that.
Yes. Just trying to find all the data sheets and stuff. It's pretty cool. So like they needed an update now that we're into Arcs of Omen. So we get a new Agents of the Imperium rule set that kind of tells you how to slot them in and do everything. A couple of things that I noticed kind of cool is the Unquestionable Wisdom aura seems a lot better now. Your 6-inch aura for any Imperium unit. And if attacks are being made against the various quarries, it's full hit and wound rerolls.
Wait, who gets that?
The Inquisitor puts it out, right? Because as far as I remember, as when it comes to Inquisitors, it used to be that like you had to use a stratagem to do it. Like it had to be like a stratagem for 1 CP, and then any unit, if it targeted like Xenos, you got like hit rerolls of 1. So now it's
built in.
Yeah, maybe this is in between the last time I looked or something, but this seems pretty cool.
I remember it that way too.
Yeah. Also, something is unfortunate for Votan because they don't have the Xenos keyword, but they changed the Ordo Xenos rule so that if it's not Chaos, Imperium, or Unaligned, it works versus them. So
Oopsie.
Yeah, so Votan going to get clapped by the Ordo Xenos rule. So, I mean, it kind of follows the same thing. Like, it's nice to have a cheap Inquisitor to do certain things. Like, if, I don't know, maybe your buddy's just been, waxing that ass with Votan. Now you can put an Inquisitor in there to give units that before wouldn't have rerolls against the Xenos stuff, or maybe just like better rerolls than you would normally have otherwise. I wanted to find the actual generic Inquisitor sheet because there's 60 points base and then like all their war gear cost stuff. So if you're looking for just the guy to hand out the buff, he has a bolt pistol and chainsword with grenades and he's like 60 points.
Is he a psyker?
I think they are. It can have the psyker keyword.
Yeah, because they can take that. What's that? The psyche chart.
It says if this model is a psyker, it can attempt to manifest 1 power and deny 1 power. It knows smite and 1 power from the telethesia discipline.
That's it. The Tesla. It's not. It's in the data sheet, or it's in the download at the back, I think.
Yeah, that's what I pulled up. So
telethesia. Or something.
You have the 6 and then the 1 for each Ordo if you want to take those. Where's our point values here?
You have to use the point values in the Minotaurium.
Yeah, because my question was like, do you have to pay points to make it a psyker, or you just do it?
Oh, well, unless it says points on the
you
on the sheet,
you can just be a psyker if you want it to be.
I think it's just not a point upgrade.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm not an expert on the assassin stat line, so I wouldn't know if stuff changed too much between their previous data sheet and this one, but they're all 90 points. They can kind of slot in the way they used to.
They went down in points.
Did they? That's cool.
But they lost their stratagems.
Like 110. What's that?
But they lost their stratagems?
They did. Didn't they have that, like the super?
Yeah, didn't they all have like a single stratagem that was like a baller?
Yeah, but I think they let me read this.
Like shoot twice on one.
Oh yeah, like take people out.
Make your shit cost more CP on one.
Yep, they did.
Go back to the article. Yeah, the only thing they're giving you is these data sheet downloads, and then the point costs are found in the digital field manual that you get from the website as well. So either they just decided to take them away, or it's an oversight. Not really sure which. I don't know. It seems pretty cool. Like to me, it is
cool. I'm like already thinking about how to.
Yeah, like for your Blood Angels, like having that 60-point Inquisitor that hands out those buffs against like, I don't know, Tyranids is your problem matchup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you struggle against Tyranids. So having that 6-inch aura of full hit and wound rerolls versus Tyranids seems pretty tight, especially because it's not core or it's just straight up Imperium.
I know. I love that. I like the idea. I like also like a 60-point psyker.
Yeah, that could be cool. Where's our other points? I'm wondering. So Karen is only 85. I always liked Karen Draxus because she can snipe with Smite, her little dragon.
Her dragon's adorable.
Yeah, so she can still do that. Her little dragon does the Smite spell, and you can target whatever you want. It's not the closest, which is kind of cool. Still has her paralysis grenades, so that's pretty neat. Still has a power fist, which is kind of funny. So she's pretty neat for 85. It's just that she's locked to Ordo Xenos.
Mm-hmm.
And who's the other? Kodiaz was the other one that people were taking a lot, right?
Were they?
Was it only because his stratagem? No. He's got it here. So spy
back in
network.
the day, he made it so you couldn't seize the initiative.
Yeah, the spy network back in the day, but
Yeah, once per battle, when your opponent uses a stratagem, you can use the ability. It costs 1 additional command point. Yeah.
No,
So
he was also dope tech. Blood Angels were using him too in the Tyranid fight because you can make their transhuman stratagem unpayable. Because a lot of Tyranid players are running like on the line, exactly enough CP to start the game with to on this turn do transhuman in this moment, and you can make it so they couldn't do that and spring traps on them. So there was some like secret.
It's just the downside with him is that he's locked to Ordo Malleus.
Yeah.
So you would only get rerolls versus demons.
I'm looking at him. I'm also like the idea of like an assassin though.
90 points.
I wonder if the sniper assassin is still really good.
The Vindicari? Yeah, I don't know because he has the shield. Yeah, the shield breaker and
let's see. The rifle is
but without his stratagem, I think his stratagem is what let him kept rolling like mortals.
Yeah, so he has that ability kind of built into his profile now.
I mean, I think they always did. It's just a stratagem let you go like do it again. So you can like shoot targets.
Yeah, so he still has the headshot thing where if you attack with a pistol or the rifle, you do a mortal on a 3-up, and then it goes to a 4-up, and it goes up one time, I guess, to like 6 max.
Yeah. So the model's destroyed.
Didn't the Evisar assassin have like a whirlwind attack?
Like a sweep?
Like, yeah, like you explode with like a ton of attacks.
See, when you make a charge, you roll 3d6 instead of 2 and add 2 to the attack characteristic. He explodes if he dies. Each time a model in an enemy unit is destroyed by a melee attack, you can immediately make 1 additional attack with a melee weapon this model is equipped with. These additional attacks cannot themselves generate further attacks. In addition, this model can consolidate up to 6 inches instead of 3.
So he fast charger, and he can take out chaff units.
Yeah, so on the charge, he's got 8 attacks. And then every time you kill a model, he gets 1 additional one.
Yeah, so you can like run into like a guard squad and
just wipe all of them.
Just take them all out. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, remember that. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. And they're only 90 points.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. So that's cool. Yeah,
It's different.
Updated Agents of the Imperium. So also, we were talking about World Eaters today.
Yo, is this other guy missing now?
Who's what?
I'm just looking at the data sheets from the official.
Oh, somebody left out.
Yeah, who's like the guy who is like the big brain anti-psyker dude? Oh, there he is. Okay.
No, he's in there. Calexis.
I scrolled past it. He's in there.
Oh yeah,
the old Q-Lexus, Shadows of the Warp, and whatnot.
Doing work.
Oh, he doesn't have the hit roll modifier that he used to.
No, but I think it's just like an 18-inch -1 to cast or -2 to cast or something like that.
Yeah, The last time I saw one, it was like you could only hit him on a 6, but he doesn't have that anymore. He just has a 4-up invul save.
But they got rid of that. I mean, I don't know. It's been a long time.
He's got the anti-psyker stuff. Oh, there it is, Ethereum. So when resolving an attack that targets this model, the attacking model is treated as having a weapon skill and ballistic skill of 6. And then he's got the life drain, which ignores demonic saves and invulnerable saves.
Oh, so they upgraded that.
I mean, he's not like great at melee, but you know.
No, he was tech for when everyone had psychers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Remember that. I would just like drive a Helldrake up and flame him.
Yeah.
Got him.
Got him. Yep.
So you got the old boy with the dreadnought chair. What's he doing?
Yeah, he's in there.
Who the fuck was that guy? The Pope?
Karamazov.
Yeah, whatever. Potato.
Forgot about that guy.
Mastercrafted multi-melta. Doesn't have a damage bonus, but it's mastercrafted. Tight. Mastercrafted power sword. Throne of Judgment. Stompy feet. Tight. He's got like a -2 psychic tests, 4 up invul save. You can like if somebody targets him with a psychic attack, you also make a 2d6 roll, and if you beat your opponent's roll, it's not affected by that psychic power.
Oh shit! Yeah, I'm amazed that model still exists too. Kara Quinn said that in chat. I was like, yeah, I forgot that guy existed. How does that?
It's a cool model.
I mean, other than Eisenhorn and no, I mean, there's a few. So Eisenhorn's new. Greyfax is kind of new.
Greyfax, yeah.
And Karen is kind of new.
Yeah. I'm kind of intrigued by these, honestly.
I wonder if the mold for the weaponsmith died because it doesn't even have a picture of the model in the data
There was
sheet.
a bunch of there was a bunch
the
of
Jacaro or whatever. Those are still around too.
I mean, they have a data sheet. They were like the little orangutans.
Oh, no, I remember.
I don't think they produce them anymore.
No, I don't. How are these not legend?
Acolytes don't have a picture.
Yeah, the Acolytes either. It's just those two. Yeah.
They were just like guardsmen, though, weren't they?
How was
They had like digital weapons.
There was like a Crusader. There was different versions of them.
Oh,
right?
Acolytes? Yeah.
Huh. Like maybe this is just like reminding us that they exist, and maybe there's some tech in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a way for the Voidsmen and the Breachers to have rules in 40k rather than just in Kill Team.
Yeah. I remember, Kara Quinn, I remember that when Jacaro stacked. There were some seriously crazy Jacaro spam lists back in the day.
Oh, yeah, you would just roll to see what powers what pew-pews you got for the ring.
It was like bargain obliterators, and there was no limit. Like you used to have like 8 chimeras full with just 3 Jacaro in each. Or however many could shoot out of a chimera hatch.
I also think it's a little funny that some of these pictures are like high quality and then other ones are just really bad. Like the pictures they put in the data sheet for Karamazov, Eisenhorn, the Demon Host are just like at fucking 240p for some reason. Like just terrible.
Fuck.
How many points is Eisenhorn? 85? You think he's
not too bad.
I mean, he gets two powers and he gets to deny 2 powers, plus he gets the quarry.
What's his order?
Xenos.
Okay, so he'll get. Is he Xenos?
Yeah, it's on his data sheet. Ordo Xenos.
It's not bad. I kind of want to throw an Evistar in there. I have like a lot of old memories of that guy.
I wonder if
Just
it's like you must
stuff.
have a Demon Host.
Once per battle.
Oh, yeah. So it's like you can summon the Demon Host, but you'd have to buy it as like reserve points. So that's like an extra. You'd have to pay the 25 if you wanted to summon him, because two of his rules are about the Demon Host.
Yeah.
So really, the only rule he has for his 85 is a 6-up Feel No Pain and a bunch of like meh weapons.
Rob, I've got the subscription Vindicari here that you sent me.
Oh yeah, he's fresh.
I'm gonna start painting him tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I was looking at him today on my webinar and I was like, oh shit, I totally need to paint this guy.
Chilling in his tactical statue.
Yeah, his fucking statue is so gangster. It's like super inconspicuous. Like, I'm just chilling up here in this ridiculously super fucking obvious hiding spot.
Yeah.
I'm a master of stealth.
Got him.
Fucking love him.
No, it looks cool.
It's a sick fucking little model though. Like it's.
I like how you don't have to glue the sister statue head thing to the.
Mm-hmm. I was looking at where its
gantry.
connectors are. It's really classy.
Yeah, they did a really good job designing it.
Yeah, I'm stoked on it. Like I'm gonna start tomorrow on it. Thanks for sending me that.
Yeah, I was hoping it would do well for you.
Where's my?
I got a couple
right
extras.
You know, that reminds me because I have the character, the world leader character.
Oh yeah,
and I've got
He's
my
a cool one,
codex. And like, I wonder if he's even in here.
What?
Oh yeah,
no,
he's not. Oh wait, yeah, no, he's not.
You'd have to field him. What could you field him as?
I mean, just one of your Terminators.
He's just a Terminator with a combi weapon, or which
I guess yeah.
He'd have to chain fist.
Chain fist, yeah.
Yeah, because the generic Lord of Chaos in this codex is the Juggernaut Lord.
It's Juggy.
Yeah, so you got like Karn, Lord Invocatus, Demon Prince, the Lord, but he has to be a Juggernaut Lord. And then you have the Master of Executions, who got moved to the HQ slot in this dex, and then Angron. And that's it.
Okay.
So you'd have to be your Terminator squad leader.
Wait, question on the agents of Imperium. So can you take those little acolyte squads just like as your troop choices and shit?
Let me.
No, they don't count as a slot.
Scroll back up. So
none of this stuff counts as a slot.
If you're Battleforge, you can include one Agent of Chaos unit in each Imperium patrol, boarding patrol, battalion, brigade, and Arcs of Omen detachment without it taking up a battlefield role slot. So then we'd have to go over to...
Yeah, you'd have to start...
the Arcs of Omen detachment.
But Kara Quinn, you can't do a patrol anymore, right? Like if you're playing Arcs of Omen, you only get the Arcs of Omen detachment, right?
Yeah, you'd have to look at I'm pulling up the Battle Brothers rules just to double check. So if it's
they still have like what they count as, but if you want to go that route,
that's what I mean. Is like, do they have objective secure like acolytes?
So I guess you could have two if you play Astra Militarum, because you can slot one into the Astra Militarum detachment, Arcs of Omen. And then you can include one. This is Tempestus Scions, which is an Imperium detachment.
Oh, it says you can add an Inquisitive patrol, is what Kara Quinn's saying. So is that everyone has that?
Let's see.
I am reading about the acolytes.
Let's see. The agent of the Imperium unit included in a patrol boarding. Yeah. It's not saying it.
No, I think they must have changed it, Kara Quinn, because that's what it used to be. It's now just if you're playing the new season, it's just Arcs of Omen, and that's the only detachment you get. They're saying the other one still because you cannot play this GT book if you want.
Yeah, so if we're talking about Arcs of Omen, I think the only way to have more than a single agent of the Imperium is if you play Guard, because Guard can take a patrol of Militarum Tempestus, which is an Imperium detachment. So you could have two units, be it two characters or two units of acolytes or whatever. But the regular Imperium, agents of the Imperium allied detachment as auxiliary support or patrol. Yeah.
Oh wait, no.
So
right.
yeah, you could.
Sorry, Kara Quinn. You're right.
I was thinking of the Votan thing.
You're right. But these guys, none of these Inquisitor units take up any. They don't have a force org slots. Like
they're all HQ. The Inquisitors are. They have it on the sheet, like what they count as. And the Assassins are all HQs.
Yeah, but they don't take up a battlefield role in those detachments. They're just outside of it.
Makes sense. Tight.
Interesting.
So we were talking about. I named the show World Eaters OP, and we're kind of gone through our whole show without talking about how OP they are. But just to let you guys know, they're fucking overpowered.
I'm listening. Sell me on it.
They're overpowered with a question mark. I'm just teasing.
Oh, I see. Just question mark.
No, we talked about them today, and I think my big takeaway from the discussion was how eye-opening the World Eater Codex is, with some of its layouts and stratagems.
For like future stuff?
For future stuff, for like 10th edition.
Yeah.
And it does look very like things cost a lot of points but do a lot of damage. It's not like this smorgasbord of like repeating stratagems that we've kind of bloated out with, like warlord traits and relics and stuff. It's like this and this. That's it. But a lot of really powerful units that are, smaller but expensive but powerful, which is that AOS style, right?
And because like the big question for this new edition is whether or not it's going to be like 8 to 9, where everything like sort of carries over, and then you wait for a new book to be like updated
or
indexes. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I think the question should be, is GW even ready to drop this shit? Because I tell you what, I'm not going to want to hear when I go to buy my 10th edition stuff is just fucking capped.
Yeah. Are they even ready?
I mean, maybe that's why they're having such difficulties right now getting these stuff out the door, because maybe right now they're actually making all the 10th edition shit, like
that's
producing
possible. Didn't they do something like that for the last big box set? I don't know the name of it, but it's the Age of Sigmar one.
Oh, Dominion?
Yeah, weren't they like doing production on that like a big time in advance, and it was causing inventory problems?
I wasn't specifically tracking anything like that, but I mean, I'm not saying it didn't happen. They made a shit ton of those.
Yeah, because like there's been a lot of rumors floating around of like some pretty big mechanical changes to 40k in this new edition, which
that's right. We did. Yeah, I guess
necessitate. I mean, my finger wasn't on the pulse of it, but I saw.
No, yeah, I think it's one of the things we talked about when you weren't here.
Yeah,
because they of the. Or maybe
like the removal of toughness or something.
Yeah, just like AOS.
More like Sigmar.
Yeah, I mean, like, as an idea, that's fine to me. It's just like, in practice, that would necessitate an index reset.
That's an index reset. That's 100%. And the thing is, these rumors, we mentioned it, like these rumors, we can always say with a grain of salt, guys, but like they've been 99.999% accurate.
Yeah. Like, unless they want to do like a real classy PDF of like reprinting of the data sheets with updates to
Wyatt, this would be a good opportunity for them to get some goodwill with us and have indexes just be like digital downloads.
That would be fucking tight.
That'd be some serious goodwill.
I mean, it could happen. I mean, look what they did. They just gave us these rules. They didn't make us buy them in a White Dwarf.
Yep.
That was super nice.
So if they want to do it, that would be the right way to roll it out, right? You're already going to piss people off. And if you just continued the goodwill train and you said index reset, here's the indexes fucking here on our fucking website, download PDFs.
Yeah. And like, Rob, have they done like a pocket core rulebook in a while?
I think there were some in some of the versions of the starter that were broken down, like smaller versions of Indominus. I think one of those came with one, but I think that was it.
So like the basic core rules are in the Arcs of Omen GT book, right? But if they do like a big GT or a big edition reset requiring indexes, like they're going to want to make money on the new edition outside of the box set, because the rumor is Dark Angels and Tyranids, right? For the 10th edition box set. Yeah. So it's like, if you don't play Tyranids or Dark Angels or don't want them, how is UW going to get all of the player base to buy into 10th edition? Well, it's got to be a core rulebook. So to piggyback on Kenny's point, if all the indexes are digital, that gains a lot of goodwill. And then if they printed the core rulebook rather as like a giant hardback tome that becomes invalidated 2 weeks later
as a back pocket manual.
Make it a $30 or $20 to $30 paperback that's like the same size as the GT books.
I mean, I think they could, if they're having capacity issues right now, getting stuff out the door, then this is kind of a win-win for everyone, because then they can put all their, they can put more production and capacity into making the starter sets and the higher margin items that they can actually get to market with that release than these books and shit that they're having such a hard time printing in China. Because obviously that's a thing now. It's not dirt cheap to get them over and float them to all the countries. I think that would be a win-win for everybody.
I was going to ask if one of the reasons that allocations are happening is because they have to get the models are made in-house. But everything else is made out of country, like the shrink wrap and the boxes and everything else, which they then ship in, and then it's they box it up themselves and then ship it out. So is part of the problem the global economy of shipping slowdowns, or is it all production side?
Well, it's really hard to say specifically, because these issues are happening both in the UK and here in the States. So it's simultaneously. So what is the determining factor? Did they just not produce enough of these items at that particular time they went into production, 3 months ago or 4 months ago? I don't know. So that but then you've got stores reporting they can't even get the restocks orders. So it almost seems like there's an issue with the warehouse. So is it a capacity issue? They can't get shit out the door, or they don't have room for it because they're producing so much stuff for what they think is going to be a huge 10th edition release. And I just don't have a lot of feedback at this time, and also the rumor is that they split the warehouses here in America into two, and you've got a new release side and you've got the restock side, and one's primarily robots and people shipping, and one is people pulling and people shipping. So it's just hard to say without
No, it's unknowable. Yeah, it's hard. It's just speculation. Got it.
But I can tell you this: that if I was GW, I would be looking to shrink down the size of my materials, because I know importing and getting the stuff printed in China is a really risky proposition right now. I would take those rule books and shit. I would try to shrink them down. I'd try to make codexes I would take, and I would say, okay, this is a codex, but it's not necessarily going to have rules in it. It's going to have paint guides. It's going to have a lot of lore and shit in it. People would still
This is that time.
We've made that point before, and I definitely agree.
But now is the time.
This is the time.
This is the time that all of this makes sense to solve a lot of the problems that
it doesn't.
having.
Not only is it the goodwill problem, which they obviously don't care about as much, but it would be a bonus to solving their logistical issues. So you can get goodwill, logistics problem solved. This is the moment, GW. Do it.
I guess it really depends on whether or not the company is set up systems to turn a profit without book sales.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of sales come from books. Because we've kind of talked a little bit about it before, but if I'm James Workshop and I'm trying to get people to consistently an influx of money from our player base, the only way that you can consistently make sure to have repeat customers is reprinting the books, which is why that model has been working so well for them for so many years, is because if Joe Schmo buys their army and they're like, I bought my army, I painted it, I am content with never buying another Games Workshop model, then that customer is completely lost to them. But if you make him buy rules every year or 6 months for a GT book or what have you, then that keeps that person in the churn of making money for the business. So if they go to digital indexes and digital core rules, they have to supplement it somehow, unless they've figured out some other way to.
We've basically fixed GW's whole business model with them on this podcast. All of everything is solved by No more codexes, but psych, they are codexes. Collector editions, leather-bound, super sets with paint guides, sickest new models, lore, backstory that you can only find in those books. You have like, this is the generic shelf version. This is the fucking limited hardback with this legion, this legion, this legion, this legion. Literally, we all would eat that shit up. Every one of us fucking casual to the fucking top of the competitive pyramid. We'd buy every fucking single one of those. And all of our rules are free. And our updates, get the goodwill, get the money. Everything is solved. No fucking problem. We've been talking about that for years. We fixed GW's entire business model. GW, this is the moment to fucking do it. Like,
yeah,
you don't really care about us. We know that, but you can pretend that you care about us while making money.
And you know, I'm just gonna throw something out here that's maybe a little tinfoil hatty, but there is a certain point to where you as a company get so big that you're like, okay, certain amount of people are going to age out. A certain amount of people, you know, are just going to like stop playing. Or if we raise the prices, we're going to lose a certain amount of people. Demand might go down a little bit, but the profit we make on these items is actually higher and carries us. And I feel like companies are always, there's a term for it.
Lateral decision making.
It's very inside.
You make a decision that makes you profit today, but it's a lateral move, not a forward momentum move. So you're like technically not going backwards on spreadsheets, but if the number of profit maintains or rises while active customer base goes down, you are a sinking ship.
Yeah.
But lateral movements are oftentimes for boards and for fucking stockholders.
I point to the chat. There's like the thing that so completely like flummoxes me every time I kind of think about it is why they kind of already have that system with Age of Sigmar, and yet they don't implement it with 40k, which is always like where. So like your I don't know, Army Tome, the book, whatever they call the books,
Battle Tome.
Yeah. So like that is fairly rules agnostic, and then you get like the General's Handbook every so often whenever they redo it with a lot of stuff online, and they have like an actually classy functioning list building app and all that other stuff. And I'm like, you know, these Age of Sigmar guys are living the life. Like I see them at tournaments and they're just like having a great fucking time.
Yep.
So why no do for 40k?
I mean, maybe
why no?
Maybe that's the whole idea, but I don't
know. Like, it just seems so weird that like those are the two flagship.
How many times have we said it? GW's decision making is unknowable and baffling.
I mean, I guess that's just where the chicken and the kazoo keep landing every time.
I don't know. You know, there's definitely there is a plan. Whether you know where the plan has to get changed, I just can't. I mean, look at the shit they did the past 3 weeks. They capped stuff's literally sold out on their online store, the Casterkins and the Soul Shackle box with the Arbitage in them, right? And then the very next week they told retailers, they're like, yo, we got it, how many do you want? Like,
so they sold that, so it doesn't even make sense.
I was like, they added a shell to the shell game. Now it's got 4 shells.
No, you're right.
Like, I don't even know how to explain that one.
That's unknowable.
Don't get me wrong. It's good that it happened, but I'm just baffled.
See, because it doesn't make sense anymore. It only makes sense if they didn't sell out online and then they suddenly had extras. It stops making sense when they did both.
Yeah, they did both. And I was like, well, that was unexpected.
You added a shell to the shell game, greatest analogy to describe GW.
You added a shell to the shell game. There's 4 now. So I don't know, man. I used to think I had a good like rationale.
Unknowable and baffling.
Yeah, like there's some good points being made in the chat about like extra production facilities and stuff. And here's another like, will we ever know? Unsolved mystery is like they did publicly announce when they broke ground on their new factory, their new production facility. But that was in like 2018, 2019. I forget the exact date. And then the entire fucking world changed for a year. So, it is done. Like, did they publicly announce that or?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's done. Like,
are they using it?
Well, that's the thing. One of them just for supplies. Like,
well, because like there was radio silence on that for a long time.
So, yeah, they are done now. Whether they are being used the way they are supposed to, I cannot tell you.
Oh, so is it like the structure is complete sort of situation?
Like, it's done. I don't know if it's outfitted. I know from what I've heard, the one that was for storing like all the resins and all the paint, the big vats of paint to make the smaller bottles of paint, that facility is done, and supposedly all the stuff is in there. But the facility that, and they have the Euro Hub too, which is offsite, not like right there on Lenton Road or whatever it is. I forget, Willow Road. I don't know. That one is for production. And I don't know if that's like come online and things like that. They've ran out of room at the, traditional facility that we all have seen pictures of. So they're rearranging things and they're working on that. And maybe that's why things are capped right now too, because they just haven't been able to get kind of caught up, and they're kind of hitting this bottleneck for some other reason.
Fucking God.
What was the
cause and solution to all my problems?
What was that show with James Frakes back in the day? Or Jonathan Frakes? Is that his first?
Riker from Riker.
Yeah. He had like that show that was like,
it was like Mythbusters.
Oh, it's right. It was like an Unsolved Mysteries.
What
was it called though?
What was it called?
It was like a paranormal variant.
There's so many memes of that online. I can't for the life of me remember what it's called. But I'm like,
I can't either. But I remember the set. I remember everything about it.
Yeah, we need to get Jonathan Frakes on this. Find out these mysteries.
I was friends with him on MySpace.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Back in the old days, he was like very selective. He was like he was like very clear in his profile.
Maybe the inner circle.
Like he wasn't just gonna be like having billions of friends because he was famous. And like I was just like, friend request, love your shit. Was one of his friends.
Tight.
It's like my greatest thing that ever happened to me in the MySpace era.
Back when your friends list meant something.
Oh yeah. All right, fuck it. Good show, guys. Rob, you ready for bed?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Why take us out of here?
Oh my God, he fucking cut me off.
All right, go over to longwar.net, sign up for shit. We got extra content. It's pretty dope. Good night.
Longwar.net.